Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new expressions you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, you're likable. This expression is such a nice compliment to give someone. It means that people enjoy being around you, that you're easy to get along with, and that others naturally feel comfortable with you. When someone says you're likable, they're telling you that you have a warm, friendly personality that draws people to you. I remember when I first started working at my current job, I was really nervous about fitting in with my new coworkers. After a few weeks, my manager pulled me aside and said, "You know what? You're really likable. Everyone on the team enjoys working with you." It made me feel so good. It meant that even though I was new, people found me approachable and easy to work with. For example, you might say to a friend, "I really like Sarah from accounting. She's so likable and always makes everyone laugh during meetings." Here's another one. "My neighbor is incredibly likable. Even though we just met last month, I feel like we've been friends for years." Let's take this one. If you want to make friends quickly at your new school, just be yourself. You're naturally likable. This is different from saying someone is nice or good. Being likable is specifically about having that special quality that makes people want to spend time with you. Have you ever met someone who just had that magnetic personality? That's what we mean by likable. Let me know in the comments if you think you're a likable person, or tell me about someone you know who's really likable. Number 2. It's about time. This idiom is one you'll hear all the time, and it's perfect for showing that something should have happened much earlier. It means finally, or this should have happened a long time ago. We use it when we're relieved that something is finally happening, but maybe a little frustrated that it took so long. The story behind this idiom is pretty simple. When we're waiting for something and it feels like forever, we start thinking about the time that's passing. So when the thing finally happens, we say it's about time because we've been thinking about all that time we waited. I have a perfect example from my own life. My brother had been talking about cleaning out his messy garage for about 2 years. Every time I visited, he'd say, "I really need to clean that garage." Well, last weekend, he finally did it. When I saw the clean garage, I said, "It's about time. You've been saying you'd do this forever." For example, imagine your friend finally decides to ask out the person they've had a crush on for months. You might say, "It's about time. You've been talking about them for ages." You might hear something like, "The city is finally fixing that huge pothole on Main Street. It's about time." Here's another one. "My boss finally approved my vacation request after I asked 3 times. It's about time." Sometimes people use this idiom in a playful way with friends, but be careful not to use it with people you don't know well, because it might sound a bit impatient or rude. Do you have something in your life where you'd say, "It's about time"? Share it in the comments. Number 3, return the favor. This expression is all about fairness and kindness. It means to do something nice for someone because they did something nice for you first. It's like keeping the balance equal in a friendship. When someone helps you out, and later you help them back, you're returning the favor. This expression comes from the idea of a favor being like a gift of help or kindness. When someone gives you this gift, it's natural to want to give a similar gift back to them. It's how we show gratitude and maintain good relationships. My neighbor is a perfect example of this. Last winter, she helped me shovel snow from my driveway when I was sick with the flu. A few months later, when she went on vacation, I watered her plants and picked up her mail every day. I was returning the favor because she had helped me when I really needed it. For example, you might say, "Tom helped me move last weekend, so I'm going to help him paint his kitchen next Saturday. I want to return the favor." People often say, "My coworker covered my shift when my car broke down, so when she needed someone to work on her birthday, I returned the favor." Imagine this. My friend always drives me to the airport, so when her car was in the shop, I gave her rides to work all week to return the favor. This expression is really common in American culture because we value fairness and reciprocity in relationships. It doesn't always have to be the exact same type of help. The important thing is to show that you care and that you remember their kindness. Have you ever returned a favor for someone? Tell me about it in the comments. Number 4. Don't take it personally. This idiom is such important advice for life. It means don't feel hurt or offended by something someone said or did because it's probably not really about you. When someone is rude or mean, it's often because they're having a bad day or dealing with their own problems, not because you did anything wrong. This idiom helps us understand that sometimes people's actions and words say more about them than about us. It's a way of protecting our feelings and not letting other people's bad moods ruin our day. I learned this lesson the hard way when I was working in customer service. One day, a customer was incredibly rude to me, yelling about a problem with their order. I felt terrible and thought I must have done something wrong. My supervisor saw how upset I was and said, "Don't take it personally. That customer just found out their flight was canceled, and they're taking their frustration out on everyone. It has nothing to do with you." For example, if your boss seems grumpy and short with everyone, your friend might say, "Don't take it personally. She's probably just stressed about that big presentation tomorrow." You might hear something like, "When my teenage son barely talks to me, I try not to take it personally. He's just going through a difficult phase." Let's take this one. "My neighbor didn't wave back this morning, but I'm not taking it personally. Maybe she didn't see me or was thinking about something else." When we don't take things personally, we stay happier and more peaceful. It also helps us be more understanding of others. Do you find it easy or hard not to take things personally? Let me know in the comments. Number 5, I'm good with my hands. This expression means you're skilled at making things, fixing things, or working with your hands in general. Someone who's good with their hands might be great at crafts, building things, repairing stuff around the house, or any kind of manual work that requires skill and dexterity. This expression is pretty straightforward. It comes from the idea that our hands are our tools for creating and fixing things. Some people have a natural talent for this kind of work, and we say they're good with their hands to describe that ability. My dad is a perfect example of someone who's good with his hands. He can fix almost anything in our house, from leaky faucets to broken furniture. When our kitchen cabinet door broke last month, instead of calling a repair person, he just went to his workshop and made it good as new in about an hour. That's what it means to be good with your hands. For example, you might say, "I'm not good with my hands, so I always have to call someone to fix things in my apartment." Here's another one. "Sarah made this beautiful wooden table herself. She's really good with her hands." People often say, if you're good with your hands, you might enjoy woodworking as a hobby. This expression can apply to so many different skills like cooking, sewing, painting, playing musical instruments, or even things like massage therapy or hairstyling. It's basically any skill where your hands do the detailed, skillful work. Are you good with your hands? What kinds of things do you like to make or fix? Share in the comments. Number 6, it's a bump in the road. This idiom is such a comforting way to describe a small problem or difficulty that you're facing. It means that whatever challenge you're dealing with is temporary and not too serious. Just like when you're driving and hit a small bump, it might shake you up for a second, but then you keep going normally. The idiom comes from the literal experience of driving over bumps in the road. When you hit a bump, your car bounces a little, but you don't stop driving. You just keep going toward your destination. That's exactly how we should think about small problems in life. I remember when I was planning my wedding, everything seemed to be going wrong in the same week. The flowers I ordered were the wrong color, the caterer had to change the menu, and it looked like it might rain on our outdoor ceremony. I was so stressed. My mom sat me down and said, "Honey, these are just bumps in the road. Everything will work out fine." And you know what? She was right. Everything did work out and the wedding was beautiful. For example, you might tell a friend, "I know you didn't get the job you wanted, but it's just a bump in the road. The right opportunity will come along soon." You might hear something like, "My car broke down this morning, but it's just a bump in the road. I'll take the bus today and get it fixed tomorrow." Imagine this. "Sure, we lost our first game of the season, but it's just a bump in the road. We'll do better next time." This idiom helps us keep things in perspective. It reminds us that not every problem is a disaster. Some things are just temporary difficulties that we can get through. What's a recent bump in the road you've dealt with? How did you handle it? Tell me in the comments. Number 7, I got a lot on my mind. This expression is perfect for explaining why you might seem distracted or worried. It means you're thinking about many different things, and your mind feels busy or overwhelmed. Maybe you have problems to solve, decisions to make, or just lots of different thoughts swirling around in your head. This expression creates a clear picture of your mind being full, like a container that's packed with thoughts and concerns. When you have a lot on your mind, it can be hard to focus on conversations or daily tasks because part of your brain is always working on those other things. I use this expression all the time, especially during busy periods at work. Last month I had 3 big projects due. My sister was getting married, and I was trying to decide whether to move to a new apartment. When my friend asked why I seemed so quiet during dinner, I said, "Sorry, I just have a lot on my mind right now with everything that's happening." For example, if someone asks why you seem distracted, you might say, "I'm sorry if I seem distant today. I just have a lot on my mind with this big decision I need to make." People often say, "My teenage daughter has been really quiet lately. I think she has a lot on her mind with starting high school next month." Let's take this one. "I couldn't sleep last night because I had so much on my mind about the presentation I'm giving tomorrow." This expression is such a relatable one because everyone has times when their mind feels overcrowded with thoughts and worries. It's a gentle way to let people know that you're dealing with internal stuff. Do you ever have periods where you have a lot on your mind? What helps you when you feel that way? Share in the comments. Number 8, that's not gonna work. This expression is a direct but polite way to say that an idea, plan, or solution won't be successful. It's how we tell someone that their suggestion has problems or won't achieve what they want. We use it when we can see that something won't be effective, practical, or possible. This expression uses gonna, which is the casual way to say going to. Native speakers use gonna in informal conversation all the time. When we say something is not gonna work, we're predicting that it will fail or cause problems. I remember my friend wanted to surprise her boyfriend by cooking an elaborate 5-course dinner, but she had never cooked anything more complicated than pasta. When she told me her plan, I had to gently say, I love that you want to do something special, but that's not gonna work if you've never cooked before. Maybe start with something simpler, like his favorite dessert. For example, imagine your coworker suggests having the company picnic in January. You might say, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but that's not gonna work because it's too cold outside in January. You might hear something like, my son wants to walk to school, but that's not gonna work because it's 5 miles away. Here's another one. I thought about painting my room tonight after work, but that's not gonna work because I won't have enough light to see properly. This expression is useful because it's honest but not harsh. It's a way to give realistic feedback without being mean about someone's ideas. Have you ever had to tell someone that their plan wasn't gonna work? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments. Number 9, he's not much of a talker. This phrase describes someone who doesn't talk very much. It means the person is quiet, perhaps shy, or just prefers listening to speaking. It's not necessarily a criticism, just an observation about someone's personality or communication style. This phrase uses not much of a, which is a gentle way to say someone doesn't do something very often or very well. So, not much of a talker means this person doesn't talk frequently or extensively. Some people are naturally quieter and reserved, and that's perfectly okay. My uncle is a perfect example of this. At family gatherings, he'll sit quietly and listen to everyone else's conversations. He smiles, nods, and clearly enjoys being there, but he rarely speaks up unless someone asks him a direct question. We always say, Uncle Mike's not much of a talker, but when he does speak, it's always something wise and thoughtful. For example, you might explain to a friend, don't worry if my roommate seems unfriendly when you visit. He's just not much of a talker, but he's actually really nice once you get to know him. People often say, my new coworker seems really smart, but she's not much of a talker during meetings. Imagine this. My dad's not much of a talker on the phone, so don't expect long conversations when you call him. This phrase helps explain someone's personality in a neutral way. It's neither positive nor negative, just descriptive. Some of the most interesting people I know aren't much of talkers, but they're great listeners and observers. Do you know someone who's not much of a talker? Are you more of a talker or a listener yourself? Tell me in the comments. Number 10. I'll take your word for it. This expression means you believe what someone is telling you, even though you can't verify it yourself or don't have personal experience with it. It's a way of showing trust in the other person's honesty and knowledge. When you take someone's word for it, you're accepting their statement as true. This expression comes from the idea that someone's word, represents their promise or statement. When you take their word, you're accepting it as valuable and trustworthy, like taking a gift that someone offers you. Here's a situation where I used this recently. My friend recommended a new restaurant across town, describing the amazing pasta and friendly service. Since I trust her judgment about food, and I know she's been there several times, I said, "I'll take your word for it and make a reservation for next weekend." I believed her recommendation without needing to research the restaurant myself. For example, if your friend tells you that a certain brand of running shoes is really comfortable, you might say, "I've never tried that brand, but I'll take your word for it and order a pair online." You might hear something like, "My mechanic says I need new brakes, and even though I can't see the problem myself, I'll take his word for it because he's always been honest with me." Let's take this one. You say the movie has a great ending. "I'll take your word for it and watch it tonight." This expression shows that you trust the person speaking and value their opinion or expertise. It's a nice way to show confidence in someone's judgment. When do you usually take someone's word for something? Is there anyone whose word you always trust? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 incredibly useful expressions that native English speakers use in everyday conversation. We learned that "you're likable" is a wonderful compliment about someone's personality. "It's about time" expresses relief that something finally happened. "Return the favor" is about showing gratitude through actions. "Don't take it personally" helps protect our feelings from others' bad moods. "I'm good with my hands" describes manual skills and talents. "It's a bump in the road" minimizes temporary problems. "I got a lot on my mind" explains when we're feeling mentally busy or overwhelmed. "That's not gonna work" is a gentle way to point out problems with a plan. "He's not much of a talker" describes someone's quiet personality. And finally, "I'll take your word for it" shows trust in someone's statement or advice. These expressions will make your English sound much more natural and native-like. Practice using them in your daily conversations, and don't be afraid to experiment with them. Remember, making mistakes is part of learning. If this video helped you understand these common expressions better, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Tomorrow, I'll be back with 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that will continue building your English fluency. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Or maybe you have a question about how to use one of them. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment and love hearing about your English learning journey. Take care and keep practicing your English. You're doing great, and every day you're getting closer to sounding like a native speaker. See you tomorrow.